What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. This episode of On The Go, we are flying to Saudi Arabia. We're going to the Formula One Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. You know I'm a huge F1 fan. Love F1. I saw that J.Lo was performing at F1, so I was like, ding! Streeter. My buddy Streeter is the longtime drummer of J.Lo. So I texted Streeter and he said, Brandon Brown is on bass, aka Pastor Funk, and that JAVAD is on keys. JAVAD had just played Coachella with Megan Thee Stallion, flew to Saudi Arabia with J.Lo, and then jumped on a plane and flew back to play week 2 of Coachella with Megan Thee Stallion. Pretty crazy. Streeter and Pastor Funk and I go way back. We had a great time reminiscing, had a bunch of full circle moments, and we met up on the day of her show before the concert in a hut in Saudi Arabia. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's go. Look at me, I got a Saudi blanket on my, or a nap.
No, that's great.
This is my napkin. Looks good?
Yeah.
What is up, everybody? We're on the go. Sitting with me today, music director extraordinaire, keyboard lord, my boy, JAVAD', a.k.a. Mr. Klynik.
All right, man. What's up?
Cheers, bro.
Here. Yes, sir.
We're out here in Saudi.
Yeah.
Man, you've been busy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a busy season, man. God is good. It's been really busy.
All right, so I'm just going to timestamp this. I want you to go deeper into it, but from what I know, okay. So I find out you guys are going to be playing Saudi. You're playing with J.Lo. You're playing keys with J.Lo.
Yeah, we play tonight.
I text with Streeter. He tells me, oh, yeah, JAVAD'S playing too. Brandon's playing too. I'm like, all right, sick. I text you. I'm like, what's up, man? You're like, oh, just finished Megan Thee Stallion Coachella. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I'm prepping week 2 right now. I'm like, aren't you going to Saudi? You're like, yeah. So I'm like, all right. So Sunday, you guys do one of the headline sets. You're music directing Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
That was Sunday. You do week 1, Sunday night, Coachella.
Yeah.
You fly to Saudi Arabia.
Tuesday morning.
You do rehearsal with J.Lo for a one-off.
Yeah.
You're going to play with J.Lo tonight at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, F1.
Yep.
Tonight is Saturday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Sunday.
Yeah. You
are flying back, and because of the time difference, you catch it, and you got Megan Thee Stallion weekend 2 at Coachella.
8 o'clock.
Dude, that is so crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a crazy thing. You know, every year I kind of start over.
Yeah.
You know, I'm blessed to be able to work with some of the greatest MDs and creatives. Shout out to Damo, Rance, you know,
Shout out.
Kim Burrs, you know, Paul Merkovich. Like, you know, they call me a lot. You know, I work with 1500 almost exclusively now. I do a lot of stuff with them. Like,
that's awesome.
You know, we all kind of grew up together and cool, and Damo plugged me in and, you know, do a lot of stuff with them. So between that and then being the musical director at West Angeles Church of God in Christ, which is the mega church in LA, I'm busy.
Yeah, you busy.
I'm like, those 2 things alone, 1500 or nothing, and West A is a lot. But, you know, when I can, you know, I try to do a couple things. And so at the top of the year, I didn't have anything.
Really?
Yeah, I was just kind of like, you know, me and Damo was talking like, all right, this year we working. Okay.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, God just blesses and it comes.
Man, I love that.
I was sitting down, and David Cabrera, who's the musical director for J.Lo,
I
did Ricky Martin with him all these years.
Nice.
So when we did Vegas, and he actually was doing some of the J.Lo residency originally. So I've been cool with him over 10, 12 years.
Wow.
And so I did Ricky for him, came in, helped him with that, also played keys. So when he got J.Lo, he called me. He's a Miami guy. He's like, yo, I need some LA guys. And he was like, yo, I need a bass player. And because Streeter, you know, me and Streeter go back. I was like, Brandon, because I do Brandon stuff with you. So all the jam card things we do, the last couple events we did, Brandon did for me, right?
JAVAD'S one of my go-to calls when I need an MD. He's like, that's like one of my first calls right here.
One of my biggest calls was Zed.
Oh, that was a fun one.
We did Zed. I think it was Billboard Awards.
Yeah,
and
called you for Zed. Billboard Music Awards to play The Middle, that hit song he had with Marion Morris.
And you put a killer band together, and you had me MD. I think it was me, Mono Neon. The guys that played guitar on the record. Who played drums?
CJ?
CJ.
Yeah, CJ was on drums.
played drums. So it was
sick band, dude.
Man, that band was crazy. It was like,
That's a crazy
JAVAD MD. Oh, okay.
You crushed it, bro. They texted me immediately on like day one, just like, oh, these guys are murdering it.
Oh
like,
man,
like, JAVAD'S killing
it was such a great
I know
time.
I can rely on you, man. And I know because also like to MD a show and be able to put something together is one thing, but to MD a JAMMJAM is like super it's super hard and it's super weird and unique, right? Because it's like a ton of music.
And there's so many different artists.
Yeah, like you did when we did the Grammy JammJam with Big Frida, Tank and the Bangas, Emmy Melly's like first performance, Hunter Hayes.
Yeah, we had a lot of people that, and there was a lot of different.
Dude, Seema Funk, Ibrahim Malouf, like kept going. Yeah,
we had a lot of different type of music,
all different genres.
And that was a killer band too. Stanley Randolph.
Yep.
Who was on Roland? I think was on Perk. Brandon was on bass. I think Chris McCork was on guitar. Phil Cornish was on key too.
Yep.
Yeah, we had so.
And the Grooveline Horns were on horns too.
Right, and we had horns
from Austin.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
So
that was sick. Yeah.
So top of the year, David calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, J.Lo's geared to start moving." And what people don't know is I've been working with J.Lo on and off since like 2009. When Kim Burse was musical director. I do a lot of her programs. She put me on some of my biggest stuff. Shout out Kim Burse. And so she would bring me in and have me do arranging. I just never played in the band. I think I might have did one thing with J.Lo. The voice on piano.
Right.
Outside that, that's it. But Dave knows me as a keyboard player, so he was like, yo, I need somebody that can play the R&B stuff, the pop stuff, but me doing Ricky Martin with him.
Yeah.
If we go to the Latin stuff, I know you can do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so it's just going to be one gig.
Yeah.
It was like Dubai. We were in Dubai, like in January. It's all right, so I do it. My schedule's kind of open, so I said, all right, cool. And we're coming off stage. When we came off stage, my phone go off. It's Jaquel Knight, who's a super creative director, does Beyoncé, did, all the Megan stuff, the Lemonade dance for I mean, he's like, I think he did the Single Ladies dance, like all of that stuff. Jaquel is the guy. Like H&M, I think he just produced The Wiz, that's on Broadway. And we've been friends, like me and you, we've been friends for a long time. And he said, yo, he had me do something for Megan in October. It was like a Halloween thing. And he was like, yo, I just need you to freak a dance break. No live stuff, just a dance break. Okay. And this is how the seeds you sow are important.
Wow.
I did that in maybe 30 minutes in a dance studio. And he called me 3 months later and was like, hey, I need you. He didn't say what it was. I'm walking off stage with J.Lo. And he said, hey, I need you to do something for me. I said, okay, yeah. And he starts talking about all these ideas he has. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, well, who's the artist? He's not telling me who the artist is. I'm like, who's the artist, bro? Like, he's like, I just need to know if you can work from, I think he said like February 28th to March 17th. I was like, it's a month. I said, yeah, I'm cool, because I didn't know what was coming from Jen. And so I go home and he sends me the pitch deck, and it's Coachella. And it's Megan. And I said, yo, bro, this Meg Thee Stallion. He's like, and he's just like, yeah, so you ready to get started? And it was, we started working the end of February, and we literally haven't stopped. I think we stopped Thursday.
Wow.
Because, it's just edits and, it's all that kind of stuff. But it was crazy. And then, while I'm working on that, David Cabrera calls and management calls, and they're like, hey, so Jen wants to do Formula One. And she wants you guys to come back. Okay.
What are the dates?
Right. And that was my first thing. I told David, I said, what are the dates? Because now I got Coachella, and I told Jen, because I got the call when I was out. So I told them, I said, I just need to know the dates, because I don't want to miss rehearsal. I don't believe in whatever artist I have. Like right now we have Megan, we got J.Lo, and I'm doing TLC. So
epic.
I don't ever want any artist to feel less than another artist. They shouldn't. Nobody should run into each other. And so I was just like, once the dates worked out, while doing a big Easter production at West Angeles Church, and it was just like
Easter too.
Yeah, it's like, and that's Sunday. So it's just like, oh my goodness. So yeah, man, and it worked out. We worked really hard. Jaquel directed the mess out of the Megan show.
Man.
We pieced it together. We did it. We just did production for 2 weeks. We rented out a studio for 2 weeks and just built different segues and built different dance breaks and put this song into that song. And we built it all the way out. Then we rehearsed for 3 weeks with the dancers and video. Then we did a week and a half of production rehearsal. Then I had to hire the players to play, because we did Band in a Box. So
talk about Band in a Box.
Oh man,
Because it's a very modern thing right now.
Yeah, band in the box.
And you're really good at it.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Band in the box is when the artist wants the live band element.
Yeah.
But the band's not going to be on stage. They might have 30 dancers or whatever, but people don't realize you can have all the video, you can have all of the pyro, but it's a music show.
Yeah.
So what's going to connect to the people is the music. You give them the right music, then you can build everything around it. And luckily for me, with the artists I've worked with and creative directors, Jaquel and Nappy Tabs and a couple others, they're music first. So we'll build the music and then they'll build the video. Then they'll build the pyro. They'll build all that stuff. So pretty much we build out the show. I'll do like a dummy of everything because I play a couple instruments. Have the artist approve it. Have the clients approve it. They like everything. We're locked in. Good, good, good. Then I'll call, some killer musicians and come in and replace everything I did.
Yeah. So the dummy is your like demo, like okay.
Yeah, I'll do drums and fake guitar, that kind of stuff.
This guy programs crazy drum fills and drum grooves. It's crazy. You'd think it's a real drummer.
Oh man. Well, I play drums. So I'm not good like CJ or nobody like that, but I'm good enough to get the idea out. And then once it's cool, then I'll call the professionals and they'll, play it over. Yeah, man.
It's so crazy to think about because these are such big stages, and I feel like Band in a Box is happening more and more and more. And the Megan Thee Stallion show, so I watched the Coachella set. So sick, dude.
Oh man,
and there's so much because when you're making these transitions and these dance breaks and stuff, it's like writing new songs, man.
Absolutely,
it's full, and you're reproducing existing tracks, and you're writing whole new segments, man, that are new beats, new songs,
absolutely,
like new moods. And she's going off on it because that whole show is dance, it's energy.
And what's very surprising about her is I didn't know, because it's my first time working with her. She's very musical.
No,
like we had a part, you saw the show, we had a part of the show that was all rock. I put a Led Zeppelin
Cashmere.
I put the Cashmere in there. Then we had an outro that was another Led Zeppelin song. She loved all that stuff. Like she was like, yeah, give me that. And to your credit, a lot of stuff that we did, Jaquel would be like, hey, just get the vocal. We're going to recreate the whole record.
Yeah.
We're going to do it like this. Like, okay, versus just playing on top of what's there. No,
and she's down.
She was like, yeah, just take the vocal. Give me a new 808. Like we had so many different, I had like 7 different 808s. Maybe 8 different 808s because she wanted certain things to feel away.
Yeah.
And she wanted to have a bounce. Then, like you said, when we start doing the dance breaks can't be the music. So now, but you got to be able to produce and make the drums feel like, their drums. And, sometimes being a great musical director is also being able to assemble a great team of guys. Like,
of course.
My guy that played drums, Derek, he's out of New York. He's also an amazing programmer. He works with Darion Javon.
Nice.
Done some stuff for Adam, I think. But he's a crazy drummer, but his programming is crazy. So we had a dance break. I said, hey, man, just give me what you would do right there.
Yeah.
Then Kevin Tease, I had him mix and master everything.
Yeah.
So it just everything was this
record,
man,
dude.
Yeah. And
you're
it's like
producing a whole. It's a music production of a show. It's not even music directing. I've been talking about this a lot the last couple of weeks. I feel like as I talk to more and more modern day music directors.
Yeah.
Music directors are music producers, period.
Absolutely.
These days, especially doing Band in a Box and all this stuff, or any sort of programming, arranging, everything that you're doing. And the show is the record. It's playback on the show of a record you made of this whole album. It's like a new live album.
Yeah.
And so speaking of that, when you talk about record, you talk about mixing with Kevin and everything. And you talk about 7 or 8 different 808s. These aren't just 808s. These are 808s that are hitting on main stage Coachella. You know what I'm saying? Like these are blasting on the biggest L acoustics, crazy system, crazy stage.
And it's crazy.
And you got to bounce it. So like, how do you know when that's the right 808?
For me, I have me personally, I have a template. I have a template. I have a TV template. I have a live show template, and then I have all my producer stuff. A lot of times, the first thing I do is I try to match the 808 to the 808. Mm-hmm. So let's say we're doing Body, which is one of her big records, or Mamushi.
Let's talk about Body. I love that song.
Yeah, it's a great record, right? Yeah. So in the show, she has another song called Simon Says, and Jaquel came up with this crazy concept where he wanted it to be like a silhouette, and they're coming out of chairs. And it was like a chant. So we did Simon Says as the chant, which then segued us in the body. So we had to have an 808 because body's 808 hits so hard once the beat dropped that we had to kind of tell a story. So it was like you got the drone and, you get the people kind of like, okay, what's happening? Then you drop an 808. Then you do another drone. Then you drop a different 808 because this 808 got to have kick with it because now they're saying something different. Like you just want to kind of post the people, right?
Yeah.
And so I heard the 808 from Body. I said, okay, so I have a couple of different plugins I use, and I tried to match it. Then once I got it close to it, then I realized what was going on. I created another 808 that could sit on its own, right? Because I just kind of know, like in my templates, I know, okay, this is going to translate for systems. This is going to translate better for TV, and so I just kind of put it in there. And then the rest is really them feeling it. Like I play it for them, which is why a lot of times I like to get studios because we got big speakers, which is kind of like having a sub so they can feel it. And if they feel it, then it's like, all right. And the rest is just kind of, trial and error. And that's just kind of how we did it. So, I'll go with the 808s and then I'll get with Kevin, who usually mixes all my tours, and he'll get it sonically where it's not going to get in the way.
Right.
Then I go to the front house guy. We play the whole show on the system. Then we fine tweak there. Yeah. So we mix it. I mix it. Dope. Kevin mixes it. I mix it again. Then we send it to the front house guy. He plays it because now it's stemmed out, which is different than giving dancers a 2-track to dance to.
Absolutely.
It's all of that, man. It's a lot.
What is the process like with Megan? How many days of production rehearsals are there versus just rehearsals?
This one was kind of quick. I know Jaquel likes to do like a month. He likes to do 3 weeks of production rehearsals.
Production rehearsals?
Yeah, not regular rehearsals. I know he likes to do that. But we were kind of under a time crunch and we did so much work. We had about a week and a half.
That's still a long production rehearsal.
Yeah, we had about a week and a half of production rehearsal with lights and video and we were still making edits because we had a lot of features.
Yeah.
We had Queen Latifah, who, is amazing. She crushed it. Ciara, who I also worked with for 12 years.
I was going to say. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know, I did my first TV thing with Queen Latifah.
Oh,
when I was 19, BET Awards. She opened the show.
Wow.
I might have been 07, 08. Shout out to Kim Burse. And I was the piano player playing behind her as she sung.
So Kim Burse really gave you your chance.
Yeah, she gave me her. Damo gave me a lot of stuff coming up.
That's beautiful.
Alex Evans put me on my first gig. That was Fantasia. And Andrew Goucher put me on Shaka Khan. Super, super legend. I learned a lot playing with him.
Yeah.
And working with him. And then, David Cabrera put me in the RICKEY world and give me a lot of TV stuff, which is how I learned about all my different templates and how to approach things from a different perspective. It's been a lot of musical directors that, when I was younger, starting out. But yeah, my first big one probably was Kim.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, and so just to document this moment in time, you did production rehearsals up till Thursday. You did Sunday, main stage Coachella with Megan Thee Stallion. Tuesday, you hop on a flight to Saudi Arabia. You do rehearsal with J.Lo on Friday for a one-off at the Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia. Saturday, today, you do the show with J.Lo in Saudi Arabia at the F1 Grand Prix, closing F1.
Yeah.
Then at 3 a.m., you hop on a flight right after the show to go back to LA to play Coachella again tomorrow. Isn't that crazy thing? You're going to play Coachella tomorrow? We're sitting in Saudi Arabia right now. You got main stage Coachella tomorrow with Megan Thee Stallion. That's wild to think about.
Man, it's God, man.
And okay, so I just heard this too. Congratulations. You got a new sneaker movie. Talk about it. You got music in that with Mustard?
Yeah, so Mustard, I've been working with him on and off maybe for 10 years. I was almost signing him as a producer. And so he's known me, I worked with LMA in the beginning, and shout out to Q, killing it, crushing everything. And so Miko, who was the president of 10 Summers, sometimes they call me to do production. Like we worked on the LMA album that just came out. And so he was just like, hey man, we're doing a movie. This is like back in July. We're doing a movie and it's going to be like Toy Story with sneakers. I was like, okay, that could be kind of fly. And he was like, yeah. So they sent me a scene and they were like, yeah, we kind of want like a church thing, kind of like Blues Brothers. I was like, okay. And I did it. Never thought about it again. sent it to him because we do business, and that was it. And I'm getting on the plane to come here. And management calls me, a lawyer calls me and says, hey, we need you to sign these papers. We're like, what? We need to sign this paper because this movie's coming out. And then I just start seeing it all over the social media. And I was just like, what? And then Juke, who's also in 10 Summers, he tags me. He's like, yo, bro, we got one on the movie. I was like, what? Then I get on the paperwork and I find out it's this movie and all these people are in it. I was like, what? Like all these Mustard's in it, and shout out to Mustard just having the year of all. He's having one of the best years ever.
Yeah.
Has a freaking deal with Heinz.
Yeah, I know, it's so great.
That's crazy.
So great.
Like what? Yeah, they called and when I was actually texting you yesterday, I saw it. So I saw it on Spotify and my credits are on there. I was like, oh man,
thank God they got the credits right.
Man,
Let's go.
Yeah. So yes, it's
so that's on Sneaks.
Sneaks, yeah, Sneaks the movie. Go see it. I have a song on there. It's called In the Club. LMA's singing on it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
You're like, do the LMA track you did. You're like, what LMA track?
Right, it's two, right? Yeah. It's crazy, man. Me and you working together as much as we've talked. Some people, I just want to work and take care of my daughter.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful.
I just want to take care of my baby. I've been doing this a long time. It's 20 years this year.
Yeah, man. 20 years this year. That's awesome.
That I've been in the industry working at a high level. And, there are so many people that have played a part in that and helped me and my friends and my colleagues. And so I'm just grateful to work, And so for this year to be what it is already, and we're not even in like May, it's just like, wow.
That's awesome,
like,
dude.
I've always wanted to be on your show. Even though we're friends, like, it's just like, oh my God, almost so cool.
We're on the go, man.
Yeah.
I like that we can do this and just document this. And like, I mean, if you guys could see where we are right now, I mean, we're besides just sitting in a hut in Saudi Arabia, but we're having the best time.
We're having the best time. And Brandon and Streeter, like us being on J.Lo, it's really been a full circle moment for me. With Streeter, me and Streeter were playing in church. Yeah. And Boucher needed a drummer for Shaka. And then he got hooked up with Kim Burst and Brian Siono, who we were all cool with. Then he's on J.Lo. And then years later, now I'm playing on J.Lo. And then me and Brandon do stuff with you. Yeah. And David was like, I need a bass player. And I was like, oh my God, Brandon. And then Brandon and Streeter are cool. So it's just like,
it's perfect.
It's perfect. And then with Coachella, working with Meg and Ciara. Yeah. And Queen Latifah, all people that I started with. It's just full circle, you know? It's just crazy. And then being with you in Saudi Arabia and, you know what I mean? Some of the stuff we've done is just crazy. I'm really grateful to God because a lot of people aren't doing it like they would like to. Absolutely. And I'm just grateful, man.
Absolutely, man. You're crushing it. And I always know that's why I always know I can call you. Yeah. And I always know you're going to be busy. But I also know that you're going to be like, yeah, let's do it. And you make it happen somehow. So I appreciate that, dude.
We've done so much, bro. We've done so much now. So I'm grateful for
you,
right on,
man. Javad.
Yeah.
Javad Day, Mr. Klynik. Follow him everywhere. Let's go. Have a date. We're in Saudi.
Saudi.
Come on, man. Have one. You like dates?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, these have a seat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a Saudi date right there. Yeah.
Saudi day. Yeah. I love it here, dude.
It's freaking amazing. And it's beautiful.
I want to live in an opulent palace and eat dates and drink this marvelous Arabic coffee.
Man, so sweet.
Let's go. Snicker and a Coke for breakfast? That's not a Saudi Arabian breakfast, Streeter.
Yes, it is. For me, it is.
You woke up in the morning. What goes through your mind? You wake up in the morning. You're like, good morning, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I want a Snickers.
See, the problem is I woke up at 1:45 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's like breakfast, lunch, snack.
Well, the other
to hold me over until we go to catering.
You know, it's funny because when you woke up at 1:45, you probably felt like a slacker. You're like, oh, it's 1:45. I felt like a real bad slacker when I woke up at 2:30.
Oh,
being like, oh, Streeter beat me.
I mean, but it's 6 a.m. in Memphis, so I'm normally up around this time.
This is
getting the kids to school.
Stay on U.S. time.
Yeah.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to On The Go. We're in a hut in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and sitting with me are two of my day ones. Two of the first people ever to embrace me as a musician in the world, in the community, and I appreciate these guys so much, and it's so cool to be here with them. Make a ton of noise. Make it for yourself. We got Brandon Brown. We got Streeter. Let's go. Memphis is in Saudi.
Pastor Funk.
Oh, Pastor Funk. Excuse me. We go too far back.
We do go.
We go
back. It's all good. Thank you.
Man, I'm so happy to see you guys. All right, so both of these guys are playing with J.Lo at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix tonight. So it was a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I think I'm going to go to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And I was like, who's playing? And my friends were like, Habibi, J.Lo is playing. And I was like, Streeter.
Oh, man.
Texas Streeter.
Yep.
What's up, my guy? You gonna be with J.Lo? What's up? We going to Saudi?
Yes, sir.
Do this.
Let's do this. Let's go.
And then he was like, Brandon's with me. Pastor Funk.
Pastor Funk.
Thy pastor of funk.
You can call me Brandon Elmo. You know, I'm just letting people know out there where they can find me.
Yeah.
You know, my music and things.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to be here with you guys. It's a real treat. I think that's part of the bonus of our crazy jobs of, you know, being in the music world is we get to hang with friends like across the world
Yes.
in crazy cities.
Yeah.
It's really a treat, man. It's a blessing.
Absolutely. All right. So I wanted to meet up with you guys last night, but you were like, oh, we have rehearsal from 3 p.m. till 11 p.m.
No, to 2 a.m.
to 2 a.m. So you had J.Lo rehearsal the day before the J.Lo show.
Yes.
What goes on in that rehearsal?
Well,
You've been on this gig forever.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
For this particular, the rehearsal yesterday, we get there at 3:30. The power is not working.
Oh.
They routed the power wrong, and then they had to repatch everything. So we didn't get started until like 7 p.m.
Wow.
And then we could line check,
Until 7 p.m.
sound check. You know, so everything is being pushed back. But while they're getting that sussed out, the dancers are normally blocking.
Yeah.
You know, it's their first time seeing the stage, you know. But we are, you know, just hurry up and wait.
Absolutely.
You know, but after that, we run over the things we need to run over. And then she comes in and she checks her mic. And then we do a run through
Of the whole show.
of the whole show.
Is this like a one-off for you guys?
Yes, one off.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and this was the only rehearsal?
Only rehearsal.
Oh,
Yeah.
in Saudi.
Yeah.
Flying to Saudi. Okay, so that's why it was a long rehearsal.
Yeah.
Mixed with technical issues.
Yes, sir.
Were you guys at the track or were you at a rehearsal facility?
No, we were on stage.
You were on the actual stage.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I was there last night watching the race and I was like, if J-Lo's playing somewhere, I can't hear it at all. Like, I don't know.
I think for certain,
Yeah.
certain. No, you good, bro.
Also, but the cars are going, so I guess that does kind of.
We could hear the cars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and of course the flyover that was happening.
Yeah, no, and then the F-16s or F-22s or
Yeah.
whatever was flying over.
Can I
Yeah.
say something about that?
Yeah.
So
You
look,
can, Pastor Funk. Come on, Brandon.
check this out. So we just waiting and hurrying up, right? And we hear like this noise from the distance. It's coming in, and it's like. Then all you see this formation is like so beautiful. And I was like, Streeter, it's Michael Jackson. It was so like majestic. I was like, that's gotta be Michael. It's gotta be Michael. That's where he is. It was amazing. That's all I gotta say about that.
That's a wonderful thought, you know? I love just manifesting things like that, you know?
It wasn't him, but it looked like it should have been.
You go from concerned to excited
Yeah.
in a split second. Just, oh, that's kind of scary. Oh, it's Michael Jackson. It's amazing, dude. I don't know if you guys realize this, but we're going on. It's about to be 20 years since we met.
Yeah, bro.
Because you guys came from Memphis. You came to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 22 and I'm 40 now. So yeah 18 years.
Same. 84?
84.
Yeah. Come on, we all 384. What you know about that?
You know we're the year of the rat up in Saudi right
A
now.
rat. Master Splinter.
Master Splitter. Wait, when's your birthday?
June 17th.
June 13th.
We were born the same week.
Yes.
July 23rd. I was right behind you.
Right behind it.
Let's see, I'm slacking.
No, you're not.
Dang,
Wake up
that's
before
crazy.
me. You birthed before me.
Summer of 84, boy, that's good, man.
It's the best.
And LeBron James was right behind us.
That's the best.
Well, no, he was in December.
December. I say he's still right behind.
I don't like thinking
I
about
wouldn't say
him.
right.
Yeah.
Still
like
a few
him
months
being
off.
younger
Same
than
year.
us.
It's the same year.
It's the same year.
Yeah, just a few months.
Also, the victory tour for the Jacksons was happening that time. Michael Jackson, once again.
You know what? There's been a lot of great people born in 1984. Let's roll credits on the screen of all the great people born in 1984.
Amazing. No, that was great. It was like, so that was 2007 when we moved.
Yeah, man.
And you had that big castle. Well, no, it wasn't a castle.
No, it was before the
It
castle.
was before the castle.
It was that Hollywood Hills mansion house, though. I was there with my
house.
homies. There's like 7 dudes in a house. And we had that room on the second floor that was like my studio.
Yeah.
And I remember I had the V drum set up.
Yeah.
The V drum set up. And you guys came through and we jammed.
Yeah.
We jammed like
We did.
immediately. Like before we even really hung. It was like, what up? And we were jamming. And Stanley. Stanley Randolph.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Kyle.
The first time,
Yes.
because you and I met at an audition.
Yes.
I don't even remember the artist's name,
What was that?
but we both met there.
Yes.
And you was like, yo, bro, I'm having a party at my crib, man. Come through, man. I was like,
Dude.
okay, can I invite some friends? I hit Brandon up and Kyle, and I think Billy
Yeah,
West.
Billy West.
The 4 of us came the first night.
Yes, that's what it was.
And then you had another party, and that's when Stanley came.
Shout out to New Genesis.
Yes.
New Genesis, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, Streeter, did you get that gig that we both auditioned for at the time?
No,
Good.
I've never gotten a gig from audition.
Oh, me either, man.
Three of us.
It's a 1984 thing. Yeah. We just do our own thing and
We don't
we
need
just
no
handed
audition.
stuff.
We just come in all day.
Yeah.
He can do it.
Yeah, we just be great and then wait for the opportunity to come. I don't do auditions though because it doesn't really work out for me.
We have to say rest in peace to Barry Squire, because he's the one
Facts.
called us for all those auditions.
Man, was that a Barry Squire audition
Yeah.
you and I were doing? Man, that's crazy to think about. Yeah, rest in peace, Barry Squire. Absolute legend, man. Handed a lot of opportunities to a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, I remember when I first started MDing, and then it was my first time calling Barry Squire
Wow.
to be like, hey, will you send me musicians instead of me being the musician?
Yeah.
And it was my first time being on the other side of the table, and it was horrible.
That's still cool, man.
No, it was really cool. It was really cool.
Man.
Yeah, so all right, so Street, so we met at the audition, and then you brought everyone by. That was awesome.
Yes, sir.
I remember us in that room jamming. Like, that's kind of my first memory. I have like a memory, I feel like, of me walking down the hallway, and I think you guys were already jamming, and I like walked in.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
After a couple of drinks.
Yeah. That house was sick. That house was crazy sick.
Bro,
was beautiful.
your
Man.
home was like an apartment complex.
Man, it really was. Yeah. It was, I mean, I was, at the time, I was living with, my buddy Mike, who was, super fortunate. And he bought that house, and then he invited 5 of his favorite musicians to live in that house. That's how I was in there. I didn't have any money.
Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, big shouts to Mike, dude. Mike
Favor ain't fair.
Yeah, Mike changed my life, honestly. Big shouts to Mike. Because he enabled a lot of us. Like, there was all musicians in that house. So therefore, when there's all musicians in that house, we can also do jams all the time because ain't no one going to be mad, right?
Yeah.
You got to, if you have roommates that are like so loud, you're doing this all the time. But instead, like, so we had everyone come through, from you guys to like the Green Day guys came over and played, like actual Green Day.
Yeah.
Like, it was like,
dope, bro.
it was cool because we were just doing it so actively. We're always, and then I started that night at Cinespace. Remember that?
Wow, I forgot about
Center Space.
2008. You go upstairs.
Yeah.
I started that
my
weekly
gosh.
Sunday night. I was doing the Devil's Orchestra. And Streeter, I remember you in particular, man, kept bringing people.
Oh,
And I really appreciate that.
Oh, man.
I really, really appreciated that, man. Because I was like, that was my early days. I was like leaving kind of the punk scene and my first time trying to start like community really in music. I guess it really started at the house doing those jams.
Yeah.
And then, which led into let's have a venue. And then we did that. And I remember whenever you were in town, you would always bring great people. I remember you brought like Tony Royster Jr. You brought people, and I was like, Streeter, you're awesome, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, dude.
Yes, sir.
Still.
Streeter is a great connector for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's that Memphis heart that you guys have.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, man.
And then when Jam Card came out, then like one of the first actual JAMMJAMs that was the JAMMJAM was the Brandon Brown Collective.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we did jams that were in the round, but it was entirely improv. But then I was talking with a friend, and we had the idea to do like an act in the round. So it was a jam and an act. And I was like, Brandon Brown Collective, the BBC. And we filmed it in 360.
Yeah.
And that was at the Castle House at that other, I found another investor that let me live in his house. throw great shows.
I need his number.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, these things are all short-lived. There's about like a 3-year max on these kind of opportunities. At first, they love all the jams, and then they're like, dude, you don't stop. You keep doing these every week. I'm like, yeah, I thought you liked that. But when we did the BBC Jam Jam, bro,
boy.
in the house at the castle, that was like such a moment, dude.
It was beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you. It was I remember that it was just so much love, and the whole 12-piece band was there at that time, and it was magical, man.
I think that was my first time ever seeing Mackenzie playing too.
Oh yeah,
Mackenzie
it was.
really, really crushed it that night. Like that was incredible.
He can't help himself. Shout out to Mackenzie.
Man, Mackenzie.
Superstar.
And then dude, anyways, it just shows history of how far back we go. And I just want to timestamp where we're at right now. We are in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia together at the Formula One Grand Prix. You guys are playing with J.Lo.
Yes.
Okay. This is cool.
Yeah, this is amazing, man. Me and him, we were talking. We were just at the edge of the stage, just looking around, and we're like, we grew up together.
Yeah, man.
Like all these, I call them God connections. You know, even with you, you know, all of us. Like I say, it pays to be just a good person.
Yeah,
good vibes only. You know what I mean? And that attracts good people. Not saying assholes won't cross your path, because they will.
Yeah,
but if you stay true to yourself, man, and just connecting with good people. Because I remember when I first met Brandon and Stanley and Kyle, the whole New Genesis, and it was just like all of us were drawn to each other.
Yes.
You know, we're 17, you know, not knowing a few years later we would move to LA. And then 20 years later, we're in Saudi Arabia together. You know, like you can't plan this.
I know, man.
Elmo is here. Yeah. Javad is here.
Yep.
Javad.
Claude's our cameraman right now, actually.
Javad. Shout out to Javad Day. When I first moved to LA, 7 months in, Javad was the person that passed the baton to me to play with Shaka Khan.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, facts.
Let's go, Javad.
So to have Javad here, and Brandon is just like full circle, and then you here is really a full circle,
man. That's incredible, and it's like you guys are doing it at the highest level.
Yeah,
highest level.
Super thankful.
Yes,
super thankful, man. Like it's like Streeter said, we had that conversation, and we were just blown away that we grew up in Memphis and be all the way out here. Like you said, it's I can't do nothing but be so thankful, man, and so excited about what is to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we've learned a lot. We're going to keep learning, and we're going to keep growing. I know for me, like turning into this artist, producer that I am now, I imagined it, but I didn't know it would be like this. And my spirituality is a very important part of my life. And
absolutely,
Pastor Funk is not a genre of music, it's not a religion, but it's a vibration that everyone can share. It's a feeling that, okay, I don't want to help anybody, but if anybody ever asks me, I'll give them anything that I have to give of knowledge or experience or anything to kind of show them inspiration that, you can do this too. If you set your mind and be focused on what you want to do and keep making yourself great. Any weaknesses you have, make them your strengths.
Yeah.
And never think you know it all.
Yeah.
And then don't take nothing personally.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
And
that's a real tough one.
Yeah. It is. And be doing your thing.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful to be that example for myself and others.
Yes, dude. Well, you guys both inspire me, and it's great to have like friendships this long and everything, especially like happy, loving people.
Yeah.
And just be able to surround ourselves with that. But it really is an anomaly that you guys came out here together, and the whole collective of you guys all having success together, playing individually, doing solo projects, playing with huge artists. It's like it needs to be a documentary / book.
Yeah. Man.
Well, that's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
I've visualized it so many times.
Yeah.
Also, come Elmo, we got to do a Memphis Jam card.
Oh my God! I
put you on the spot right now.
No, call me on it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Because
do we do it in Memphis or do we do it in LA? Do we do Memphis in LA?
Both.
Yeah, both.
All right, well, let's focus on
You
one.
gotta you gotta come to Memphis because
We got to do Memphis.
I know. I've never actually been to Memphis. Yeah.
We got to do Memphis first. We can do the LA one because we live there, most of us.
Right.
Memphis, we got to shine a good light on our city back home because it's so much talent.
Yeah.
And so, no, we got to do a Memphis Jam card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a crazy amount of talent came out of Memphis.
Yeah. Great people, great talent. And
I know Nashville gets too much attention, man. I always end up in Nashville.
yeah, no.
Pull meet in Memphis, man.
It's a lot of history behind, because Memphis used to be a booming city as far as in the music industry, like Nashville. But when Dr. Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, it took the whole industry out. Stax Records is gone.
Wow.
Sun Studios, pretty much all that stuff, all that ended.
Yeah.
Because Stax was an integrated label. And so they didn't even, whites and blacks weren't working together in Memphis at this time.
Yeah.
So they were creating all of this great music. So when that happened, it killed all of it. Yeah. And so Memphis is due for a resurgence for sure. Yes. So I feel it as though it's happening, and
absolutely,
and it's been happening. I feel like the future is just really bright. Yeah. So shout out to Memphis. We love you.
Man, if you got the right venue, we should start planning it, honestly.
Oh, we can get the right venue.
The right venue is so important.
Yeah.
You know, first to be able to do it in the round and actually make it like that whole, like that JAMMJAM, like quality production.
Yeah.
Because the content's what'll make it go then live so much further than just, because we can do a fun night, no problem.
Yeah.
Of course, just have you guys play in any room and bring out the scene. But
think about that. We'll
yeah.
What the right place would be.
Give me a call. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do this. We also need this is on me. I need to be jamming. I want to be playing like Streeter again, man. I can't wait to watch you play tonight. I wish we were doing this interview tomorrow so we could talk about the J.Lo show right now, because I've never actually seen the J.Lo show in person. So I'm so excited to actually see it. And the fact that we got Brandon on it also and Javad on it.
Yeah.
Like I'm so I don't have any reference, but unfortunately they finished playing at midnight and their flight's at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Back to L.A.
Yeah.
Or back to Memphis. Where are you going?
Back to Memphis.
Back to LA for me.
Yeah.
They asked us, do we want to stay an extra day? I just didn't know that the flight was going to be that god doggone early. Anyway.
Always say yes, bro.
I know.
The follow-up question is my hotel included?
Well, see, it wasn't.
Oh.
So that's why I was like,
it was.
No, it wasn't.
No, the hotel was included. It's just you wouldn't get paid and no per diem. And they would have just made your flight for the,
Brandon doesn't go anywhere unless he's paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I'm definitely not. I'm the same here. I got to get home to my kids and my wife, man.
Absolutely, dude.
Bro.
How do you handle touring and everything with being a dad and a husband?
Yeah, well, my oldest daughter, she's about to be 21.
Wow.
So my entire touring career, I've been a dad, you know. But she was in Memphis and I was in LA, you know, and we were going back and forth, you know. She would come to LA and but now, since the pandemic, I really haven't toured much. Yeah. And since Junior has been born. Yeah. You know, so I've been a part of his everyday life. That's beautiful. So now he's learning what it means when dad says I have to go to work. I'm going to be gone for a while. You know, my wife, she's cool. Yeah. You know, she understands and she likes when I can do nice things.
Yeah.
So let daddy go get the bacon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's cool because I feel like for the first time in my life, I have a true balance. Yes. You know, where I have the work-life balance, because my entire life was nonstop touring until the pandemic. Yeah. And that slowed me way down. I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, I got to do something.
Yeah.
I'm going to go run the block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't sat that long,
sweat every day.
Yeah. Sweat every day. Yeah. So I started to, learn more about myself, more about my kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I'm here. Yes. You know what I mean? So I guess now, especially in our 40s now, even though that has nothing to do with anything, but still you grow, hopefully you're becoming wiser. Yes. You know, absolutely. So I'm embracing this new era of my life. Yeah. You know, I'm not the same guy I was 20 years ago. Yeah. You know, so now life is more slow. you know, and just taking everything in. Where you always constantly working.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife that when you're constantly working, you're always on the road, you start taking things for granted.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I'm here, oh, I'm there, you know. It's just part of my life.
Yeah.
But when it's taken away, you know, and you come back to it, it's like, wow, I need to soak all this up, you know. I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this or if I, you know, still, I'm just going to soak it all up while I can.
How do you do that? So like tonight when you're on stage in front of a massive crowd in Saudi Arabia with J.Lo, how do you make yourself present?
First, well, we pray together as a band.
Beautiful.
You know, but I do my own prayer and I just center myself in, because, you know, we can just, you know, let it be a day-to-day thing where, you know, I can be up there on the drums and thinking about, you know, what I'm about to build in my backyard or, you know, I'm not really here, you know. So I try to pray first and then center myself, you know.
Yeah.
And this is the first time with Brandon and I and Javad in many years where we're playing together.
It's so great.
When I look over and I see Brandon and then I see Javad, it's like, oh my God, it's going down.
Yeah. Decades later.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for the show tonight, man. I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait,
bro.
dude.
We're excited about it too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So much.
So much. And then we'll see you guys in LA, Memphis. Give me a call. Let's set up this.
Oh, we're going to do that.
Set up the jam.
Thanks, Elmo. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. Much love, my guys.
Yes, sir.
It's really hard in Saudi to do this when you're like sitting.
We are in this hut.
Yeah.
In Saudi Arabia. That's a fact.
How do we get out of here?